welcome back to my channel, The You in Fashion. My name's Megan. On my channel we discuss fashion, luxury, handbags, and lifestyle. So if you're interested in any of those topics, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notifications bell down below so you don't miss any of my content. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the difference between Chanel lambskin and Chanel caviar leather. And the reason I wanted to do this video is when I was purchasing my very first Chanel handbag, I went back and forth with myself so many times about this decision. So I really wanted to get this video out here for you guys and hope that it helps with your decision if you're looking to add one of these handbags to your collection for the first time, or if this is maybe even a fourth, fifth Chanel handbag for you. I hope it can be helpful, and you guys let me know in some comments below if you own these types and kind of what your opinion is about it. That's what I really want my channel to be about, is us as a community sharing our experiences to help each other out to make the best decision for our buck, as to say. So we are going to start first just by showing the differences between the two. So I'm going to show you my caviar first, and you can see pretty good there, kind of the grains in the leather that the caviar is associated with, and it is a pre-treated leather, which I feel like kind of gives it that material there. So again, the grained, mine does have kind of like a shiny finish even to the grain, but when I compare it to my lambskin, you can definitely tell the difference, and I wanted to kind of do black on black so you could truly see. So this one definitely, of course, does not have any grains to it. It is just completely a smooth leather, so you can really get a look there again between the lambskin and the caviar, just even the difference in how they look and appear there. So because they are different leathers, what you are going to notice is that, of course, this is scratch resistant and just less able to get, I guess, while you're out, either stained or scratches or bumping up to things because of the grain leather. Where the lambskin definitely is a lot more delicate. I am very, very conscious anytime I take this somewhere not to lay it up against something, because not only will scratches be an issue possibly with the lambskin leather, also indentions, I notice, can be also very, very difficult with the lambskin leather. And when I'm wearing this, especially with my trendy CC, when I'm looking in the pre-loved market, I usually see a lot of wear to the edges. And that is because, like, when you sit this down, and especially when you're bumping into things, be just really, really conscious of your edges and of your corners there to make sure you are gently sitting it down, gently, not bumping up against things. I try to hold this as close to my body to make sure I am not being too difficult on the lambskin. And that is definitely a pro of this handbag, as we know, is it is far less delicate. When I am wearing this out, I have far less concern about bumping it into things or creating indentions. It just is not nearly as delicate as the lambskin is. And even with the corners there, what you'll notice is that as the older caviar bags, they will show some wear in the sense of kind of softening on the edges there. And this one I did by pre-love, so you can even see that just a little bit there of how you can kind of notice the rubbing, or how would I phrase that? The smoothing is a great word to use. The smoothing of the leather on the corners on your older Chanel handbags. So this one, again, I bought pre-loved, where this one I bought brand new from the store last year. So we would expect, of course, far less wear to this one than this one being pre-loved. But I feel like for me to have purchased this one pre-loved and it had already been worn and loved and is much older, I feel like a little bit of wear on the corners is not too shabby for it to still look this good. And that kind of leads me into my next point, because one thing I wanted to point out is long-term wear. One thing I wanted to be very conscious of when I was purchasing my, especially I'm going to kind of lean towards my medium double flap, because my classic flaps were my very first purchases. And one thing I took into consideration a lot at that time were long-term wear and tear and being able to keep these handbags for a long period of time. And I feel like like the Caviar is a perfect example of that. Yes, you'll see some smoothing of the edges. Yes, some of the even pre-loved ones you would see like large indentions sometimes in there, but I would say you'd have to do something pretty significant to create a long-term indention in this handbag. And what I also really like about the Caviar is, in comparison to the lambskin handbags, when I was looking at some of the older ones, is the puffiness of the quilts here. So you'll notice in the vintage ones that it does seem to lose a little bit of the puffiness. They're a little bit flatter, I feel like, as they age, and I think there is some beauty to that. However, when I was purchasing my handbag, I was like, I want to make sure that the handbag I purchase, I don't look at it in another 10-15 years, because I plan on keeping it for the rest of my life, and I don't want to be like, man, I really wished my quilts would still be a little bit more puffy. Now, of course, I feel like that depends on how you take care of it, but as my first Chanel medium double flap, I didn't really know how to take care of the handbags that well, so I really wanted something that I myself could not ruin, and I think that for that reason, the Caviar was a great choice. Now, once I had a couple of handbags, I did decide to go with the lambskin, and I think that that's a great way to plan your collection too, is once you get the feel of Chanel, then go for the lambskin, and you truly will enjoy it. I feel like the lambskin is classic Chanel. Like, when you think of Chanel, the lambskin is what pops into your mind, and it's probably most distinguished even outside, is the lambskin buttery soft puffy quilts. So I'm not saying that it's a bad choice. I'm just saying, if you are a first-time buyer, please understand that I understand you when I say that this is a lot of money, and you want to purchase something that you are not worried about a little scuff or a little scratch, or leaving this kind of up against it and it leaning in indentions, your handles. I don't know why that's escaped me, but leaving your handle up against it and worried about it indenting. I feel like the Caviar in that case is a great choice. Now, one debate I also found between the Caviar and the lambskin was its ability to hold colors, and particularly brighter colors. So I wanted to pull out a couple of my handbags that I do have in different colors, and this one is, of course, my red cocoa handle, and as you can see, I feel like that is a beautiful red. It is a darker red, which I'm not really sure if that makes a difference, like if the brighter reds maybe would not have been as good in the Caviar, but I think that it's absolutely gorgeous. I feel like the color of this picked up perfectly well and shows really well. And then in comparison to that, I do have my mini here, and I feel that that is, again, just like really beautiful. This is a lighter orange, so maybe, like I said, the deeper colors may be a little bit better in the Caviar than the brighter colors if you're looking for that. I think it's so beautiful, and I'll kind of show you these here in comparison as well. Now, what I will say, just looking at it in the camera here, that this does appear definitely more matted, and this one is definitely brighter. Let me see how I can kind of pull back and give you some different images here, but I can see how people say that this appears a little bit brighter, a little bit more saturated than this. But I guess my advice in that case would be maybe brighter colors, perfect for lambskin. Maybe some of your darker colors, great in Caviar. I really feel like you can't go wrong. But again, I'll even show you kind of just in my mini handle there, kind of the quilts, the soft, buttery soft lambskin there, absolutely no grains, no anything. And this one I also bought pre-loved, but I mean really good condition as well. Again, I'm very conscious of that. I'm very conscious that I never wear this bag with anything that could color transfer. I'm very conscious that I am not wearing it when it's raining or even for extended periods of time, because I'm very nervous about the wear on my lambskin bags. Where my Caviar, I mean, the grains are just still perfect. Now, one thing I did see in the pre-loved cocoa handles at times where a lot of people would leave it here and they would cause impressions in their caviar. But again, I either try to put my straps inside or I, don't have it to where it's like pressing up against it. But I mean, that caviar is still perfectly beautiful, nice grained leather. I feel like the color is absolutely beautiful and comes off exactly as you would want it to for a red handbag. So again, I just kind of wanted to take the moment to show you some color differences to see if that mattered to you, depending upon whether you wanted the caviar or the lambskin leather. So let's talk a bit about pros and cons here. So pros for the caviar leather: durability. Pros for the caviar leather is going to be more of your everyday bag. If you are grabbing something, you're not nervous depending on what color you're wearing, or, well, and especially for the darker bags, let me preface that. If you are looking for a white or a beige, similar to the beige one that I have, yes, absolutely, I would consider a color transfer even with the caviar. But for your darker colors, I feel like less concern there. I also feel like, again, scratches, less concerning, kind of bumping it into things briefly, less concerning. So this makes a much better, I feel like, everyday bag, or especially if you live a pretty active lifestyle where you're running to the store or you're coming home and you're doing different things, this would definitely be the choice. Now, if you are looking for something maybe a little bit more dressy, or if you tend to dress up quite frequently and you're looking for a bag that you want to take out, be able to put on the dinner table as like a centerpiece of beauty, then I would say that, of course, your lambskin would be that choice. It definitely, to me, is more of a infrequent or event bag than the caviar leather, I would say, but there is something so special about the lambskin leather. It truly is so, so, so beautiful, so soft, and like I said earlier, I feel like just classic Chanel. Like when you think of a Chanel handbag, I feel like the lambskin leather is truly catches the essence of what Chanel originally was. Now, what I will say is I also researched a little bit about like sizing of things. So my jumbo also I have in caviar, where my smaller bags is kind of what I tended to go for in more of the lambskin leather, such as my mini that I showed you earlier, and then even like my trendy CC. Now, something to be said about the trendy CC is this does not come in caviar. It only comes in lambskin leather. So I had no other choice. It kind of forced me to try it in that case. But once I got the trendy, that's when I purchased my mini, and I was like, okay, lambskin's not too shabby. I'm feeling it a little bit. I can see the allure for sure. So I would say that in that case, if you're looking for something to kind of dress up, then the lambskin definitely is going to be that choice for you. Again, sizing of the bag is important in case like your jumbo size, where it is already larger on your body, so you're more likely when you get out of the car or something to kind of bump up against something, or you're more likely when you're running around to kind of hit it on certain things because it is a larger handbag. I would definitely go with caviar in that case. But for your smaller handbags, say like your mini flat bags, I definitely would consider lambskin in that case, even to introduce you and see if you like the lambskin, because they are a little bit more reasonably priced and they are less likely to kind of get banged up on things, because usually I am a little bit more conscious of my small bags. Like they fit a little closer to my body. They're not out as much like underneath my arm, as to say, so I'm able to keep them a little bit more controlled. And I noticed that that provided me with a lot more comfortability, and I had far less stress about bumping it into various items that could either cause color damage or that could cause me to have some indentions or some marks on the bag. So wrapping up this video, all in all, I would say as a first-time Chanel handbag buyer, because that's when I was looking for these videos, that's what I wanted to know. As a first-time Chanel handbag purchase, what would I recommend? So I would definitely recommend, one, that you go first classic with the medium double flap itself. Make that your first decision. So I would definitely, before, for instance, the Coco handle, the Trendy, I would definitely get a double flap as your first handbag, preferably the medium size, although I really have been wanting to add a small to my collection, but the medium is truly the classic Chanel size. So I would make that decision first. And then once you make that decision, I would genuinely urge you to go with the Caviar as your first choice, because when you only have that one handbag and this is your first designer large purchase, you are going to want to wear it, you are going to want to love it, and I guarantee with the lambskin you are going to run into the problem of getting scratches and bumps and indentions, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I paid all of this money and I am hyper focused on all of the wear that is on the bag, and you're just going to get far less of that with the Caviar, far less scratches, far less indentions. Like I said, the corner wear may come, but hey, that happens. Where I definitely feel like with the lambskin, if you're wearing it as an everyday bag, you are definitely going to have to be a lot more conscious about the weather. You're going to have to be a lot more conscious about scratches, and you're going to have to be a lot more conscious about indentions. So that is the reason I would say, if this is going to be your first bag, this is a bag that you plan to wear majority of the time when you go out, then your Caviar is going to be that choice. Now, if this is a bag that you've already have your Caviar bag that you wear all the time, or if you have quite a large handbag selection as well, but just not Chanel handbags, then absolutely go with the lambskin. The lambskin is going to be the one for you, that if you're like, I have plenty of other bags that I can wear, I just plan on pulling this one out for special occasions, or when I plan to want to look nice or classy or dress up my outfit, but not as an everyday bag, then absolutely the lambskin would be that choice, and it is going to fulfill all of those classy dreams for you, going out dreams for you. It truly is that. So I hope that this video was helpful. Again, you guys let me know if you agree, disagree, your opinions, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.